In today's video, I wanted to talk about a certain upcoming game, a certain medieval game that I never really talked about on the channel for the simple fact that some of you watching my videos might not really be interested in it. But after updates I'm seeing from this project, I can't stand not having one single video talking about Manor Lords, which is without a doubt a masterpiece in the making. And all of this with the artwork of a one-man team. One person with a passion is creating this entire game, which could put to rest a ton of others, made by a team of many developers. Now, you might have noticed by the title or when I'm talking that I'm referring Manor Lords as a masterpiece, which probably means it has been released, right? How would I know if it hasn't yet? Well, no, it's not released yet, it's planning to in fall 2021, but every feature, every promises that has been made by this developer has actually been shown through his main gameplay videos, on the game's YouTube account, or in-depth through his Twitter account. Every single thing. One of the best things about this game, hence why it has so many fans already, is the simple fact that the creator isn't hiding anything behind false promises or shiny trailers. It just shows what Manor Lords is all about, through gameplay, and that's all there is. I've never really been a fan of strategy, RTS and building games and such besides Age of Empires 2, Total War or Roller Coaster Tycoon for example, but Manor Lords is bringing that true authentic excitement back in my opinion. It's not simply about building, but about war, influence and the realism of that time period, how people were living and going to war and yourself acting as their lord. This real-time medieval simulator / war game absolutely embraces historical realism through intricate tech trees, construction options, and little tasks that really recreates the lifestyle and labor of working class peasants and crafters from the Middle Ages, from sowing fields to thatching roofs. As Lord, you can also get more influence from the things you're doing. For example, building a church, which religion was huge at the time, will give you a lot more influence and power over your people. You can also become corrupt, which in the end could make your citizens unhappy and angry. Manor Lords is also about keeping your influence, thus going to war against other factions, which are very difficult to fight when doing live battles. You'll have to be very strategic. The heart and powerfulness of a player's army all depends on what you do as lord of your city. Are they well fed, well equipped and ruled by a competent lord? Your decisions will make your villagers fight harder and also maintain cohesion for longer than peasants who've been starved or exploited. The various units seen in the gameplay also reflects the historical realities of warfare during the early and later Middle Ages. Also, rather than just focusing on one settlement, it looks like you'll have whole regions to take over and develop, exploiting their resources, building new towns, and then raising armies to protect them. When you get into a real-time scrap with an enemy army, you'll have to watch out for morale, fatigue, the impact of the weather, and outside of combat you'll also have disease, famine, and other threats to worry about. For all of these gameplay features, realistic building, simulation, and battles to be made by one person is absolutely crazy. There's just so much to do. The graphics, the battle system, animations, the building, the details, and so on. This is actual art. The building is also said to be completely freeform, so you can put your structures down anywhere, terrain permitting, and draw paths and field to fit the shape of your settlement so it looks better. There's diplomacy between lords as well as conflict between them. There's also a trade system and development trees for every region, letting you customize them based on their resources or their role depending on how well you avoid conflict between other lords. Manor Lords is extremely large in scope but almost doesn't skip anything for a game of this genre and goes even beyond in some places. The creator also wants to add walls, fortifications, naval battles, cavalry and such over the course of the game's development through early access, which is 100% something I'd like to see in a realistic game like this. But as he said, he wants to fix all the problem with base gameplay first. He also goes on to say that multiplayer could be added in the near future, including war battles between players. The battles themselves can feature hundreds of people fighting at once. The new trailer, which released just days ago, shows the ways in which you can order your soldiers into different formations and put them with different equipment at your choosing. Some may have helmets, swords, and some not. What's really impressive with Manor Lords is the amount of control you have over all your villagers, from adjusting the amount of armor on them, the different stances, the height advantage, the formations, and so on. The building mechanic is also motivated by the growth of real medieval towns and villages, where major trade routes and landscape often influence how the settlement shaped and developed. Fields must be plowed by a team of oxen, iron bloomed in a bloomery, the sheep herded on the open pastures governed by the lord of the manor. This, combined with an attention to detail, is the key to immersing yourself fully in this medieval kingdom you rule. The season pass, the weather changes, towns can rise and fall to war, disease, or famine. What's even better again is the fact that every single thing is shown to us through gameplay, never just told. There's no promises here, it's just there, and that's what will make this game an instant success in my opinion when it will release in 2021. Manor Lords is slated to hit early access on Steam this year, but there's no real confirmation yet outside of the developer saying that it should be, thanks to people giving him great feedback and so on. He really wants to be sure it is a good game before it is available to the public. Alright guys, that is all for today's video. Make sure you check out the game on Steam with the link in the description below, and of course make sure you like this video to give some support. Also subscribe to stay tuned of course. Thanks to Space Beer Gaming, Rush Shimbati, I Am Legend, Diamond Hunter 45, Themistocles, Rickno23, and Kianzo Fagari for being a master member on the channel. You can become a survivor member for as low as 99 cents a month. It'll help me and the channel as a whole to make more and better videos.